ResearchGate, academia.edu, or even this what we call as this academia.edu, ResearchGate, or even Facebook or Twitter. So that also speaks about the impact of your research. But everyone is usually crazy about the citation impact, because nowadays citations are basically trying to what we call as monopolize every academic phenomenon, be it your promotions, be it your selections. Everywhere they speak about the citation scores, your H index, your I-10 index. So how will you see, and is there any open educational resource that will help you to see for your citations or the research impact that your research makes in the society there? I think Google Scholar is one of the best sources. And I think everyone among you will have Google Scholar account. How many of you have a Google Scholar account? Okay, Dr. Hilal is having a Google Scholar account. First of all, Dr. Hilal, can you please specify that, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because, okay, Nusrat, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are extremely
okay. So I think Dr. Parvez Ahmad Dar, he also has a Google Scholar account. Now, Dr. Hilal, can you please narrate me what Google Scholar is doing for you? Can you please specify that what Google Scholar does for you? Dr. Hilal, can you please specify?
It gives me automatic update on my citations.
Exactly.
Any of my article which get cited, I get notification for that, and this is the one.
Exactly. और आप गर्व से बोलते हो कि मेरा H इंडेक्स ये है, आप गर्व से बोलते हो मेरा I-10 इंडेक्स ये है, आप गर्व से बोलते हो, तो आपके कॉलेज में आपका नाम है, आपके प्रिंसिपल के पास आपका नाम है, आपके कोलीग्स में आपका नाम बहुत बड़ा हो रहा है, because of your I-10 index, but because of your H index, because of your better citations, is it? But many a times Google Scholar can be used for just seeing the impact, but it is many a times questionable by many of the researchers that इसमें थोड़ा जो citation score है वो ज्यादा होता है in comparison to Scopus and Web of Science, because Google Scholar tries to index the gray literature also. So gray literature is the unpublished literature, because of which there is a hype in the H index and I-10 index of yours. Suppose in my case, my H index through Google Scholar is 13 and I-10 index is 21, and I have a citation score of 649 through Google Scholar there. But many a times it becomes a bit doubtable that, sir, निजी इसमें आपका maybe कोई ग्रे लिटरेचर है, किसी ने ब्लॉग पे आपका नाम ये रखा होगा, तो ये उसको भी citation ले रहा है. Now, usually at a global level, we have two indexing and abstracting services. One is Scopus, that is the byproduct of Elsevier, and another is Web of Science, that is a byproduct of Clarivate Analytics. So both of them can be used for seeing the impact. But problem is that people feel that they don't have access to Scopus. Dr. Hilal, does your college have access to Scopus? Can you please specify to which college you belong?
I belong to Government Degree College, Sumbal. We don't have
Okay.
access to Scopus. We don't have.
You don't have access to Scopus. Dr. Abida, can you specify that? Do you have access to Scopus?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other teaching faculty in this group who has access to Scopus via their college? You can raise your hand. Because what happens...
I think all colleges do not have this facility.
Exactly. So does that mean that, okay, it will debar a researcher from seeing his actual academic score or the global academic score? Because in Western countries or majority of the best universities, Google Scholar को ज़्यादा weightage नहीं देते हैं. They usually give weightage to the academic indicator scores that are basically represented by Scopus or Web of Science. But thanks to open educational resources, that Scopus has a free service. If you just simply type in Scopus in the Google Scholar, we have a free author profile service and a source profile service. How many of you have used the free service of Scopus? It's a Scopus preview service that is a free service. Simply using either a Scopus author service or Scopus source service, we will be able to know that what is the current H-index or citation score of a particular author there. Simply the way I have just typed in the details in this Scopus preview there, it will automatically, okay, I have just used one of the technical things for my name here, that is ORCID. Do you have an ORCID ID? How many of you have an ORC ID with you? Or do you have an ORC ID, or are you familiar with this ORC ID? Anyone who's familiar with this ORC ID? Okay, Dr. Hilal, can you just specify me how many papers you have written? Research papers in journals or some book chapters. Can you please specify the number of these research papers or book chapters that you have written?
I think that is easily available on Google Scholar. Type
no. Let it be on a lighter note. Suppose
I have authored as first author 5-6 papers.
Okay.
6 papers rather, and I have almost 8 book chapters.
Exactly. Okay. So if we just accumulate them all, it will just be more than 20, is it? So if I just accumulate all your research papers, it will score more than 20 there. Now, suppose if a research paper is there that you have written, on that specific research paper, it is Dr. Hilal Ahmed. Okay, only Dr. Hilal Ahmed. Another research paper is there, it is Hilal Ahmed Wani. Another research paper is there, Wani Hilal Ahmed. Another research paper is there, that is Dr. Wani. So your 4 different papers are under different 4 name variants there. So tomorrow, if I'm just searching your name, no, don't you think that it will not give me the actual number of research papers that you have written? It will only give me the research papers by the name variant which I have searched, is it? So what ORC ID will just do for you? ORC ID acts as a typical phone number of yours, because maybe शायद हिलाल साहब को घर में कुछ भी नाम से पुकारते होगे, कुछ हिलाल या वानी साहब या इसके कुलीग्स इसको वानी साहब बुलाते होगे या डॉक्टर साहब बुलाते होगे. So you are just recalled by different names. But what your ORC ID will do for you, it will accumulate all your name variants under one flagship there. So I always just propagate that all the researchers should open this ORC ID, because whenever you are submitting a research paper, all your research papers will be accumulated under one tag. This problem usually arises with the females, because before marriage they have their father's name, and after marriage they usually adopt the name of their husbands. Not always, but majority of the times. So there is a name variation between their pre-marriage status and after marriage status there. So automatically there is a clash between their papers. So what ORC ID will do for you, it will try to accumulate all your research papers, even if they are under different name tags. So once I click it over there, this Scopus preview will show me the number of documents that are written by me, my citations there, the H-index. Now see the H-index difference between Google Scholar of mine and Scopus of mine. Okay, so in that case, it was 13. And in case of Scopus, it is reduced to 9. Because Scopus will generate the citations and H-index only for those publications which are indexed by Scopus. And you can use this service whenever you are filling your details, those monthly reports, because you can even show the progress in terms of your increased citations, increased H-index. Maybe इस month आपका H-index कुछ है, next month आपका H-index, next month आपके I-10 index, या फिर आपके citations increase हुए होंगे. So in that way, you can also just show the monthly academic progress report in terms of the citation impact that your research is making, not only within your subject, but all across the subject domains there. Okay, how many of you are familiar with this figure, that is predatory journals? Usually they claim that we are open educational resources. How many of you have just fallen a prey to these predatory journals? They usually try to publish any damn thing. Dr. Hilal, what is your subject? Can you please specify what is your subject?
Biochemistry.
Okay, you represent biochemistry. Have you ever fallen a prey to a predatory journal which has asked only for, say, 1,500 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 2,500 rupees and published your research work, I think within 12 hours or a week's time or a day's time? You might have received so many mails. We will publish your research, say, within 12 hours. We will publish your research within a week's time. And our journals have an impact factor of 10, 20, 50.
Right.
Have you experienced that problem?
Encountered it in my MPhil program. We published an article in Indian Journal of Science Invention something. I cannot exactly remember the name of the journal, but later on when we checked it in UGC list, it was not there.
Exactly. So they are basically the pseudoscience publishing units. So pseudo simply means false science publishing units that basically trap the young and budding researchers, young and budding authors, and they basically magnetize them by the false claims that our journal has a global impact factor, GIF, of 10, or we have an index Copernicus impact factor of 20. But make one thing sure, the only impact factor that is the valid impact factor, that is the JCR impact factor. Journal Citation Report, I think, Dr. Hilal, you may be familiar, because in science, you have good impact factors. That is JCR, Journal Citation Report, a proprietary of Clarivate Analytics. Earlier it was Thomson Reuters. Now it has been owned by Clarivate Analytics. So you should never fall a prey to these predatory journals because they will always land you into trouble. अगर मैं library science का हूँ, वो मेरा biochemistry में भी छपाया गया और biochemistry वाले का paper library science में भी छपाया गया, irrespective of whether it really fulfills the demands of a qualified publishing unit or not. So talking about these predatory journals, I will recommend you a free service that you can make use of. Many a times you may receive a mail that we are trying to publish a research paper or we just want to publish a research paper. Always cross-check it with the master journal list. That if they are claiming that we have an impact factor is only refined to Web of Science. So Web of Science provides you with a service by the name of Master Journal List. Simply, you are supposed to type in the details of the journal and it will automatically pop up. It's a free service because I'm only showing you the open resources, the free resources that are offered by the commercial publishers. So you can cross-check whether the claim that is made by a journal that it is indexed by Web of Science or it has an impact factor. So you can just make use of this master journal list facility and automatically it will give you the details that whether it is included or not in the Web of Science there. Another free service is the manuscript matcher service. How many of you are familiar with this manuscript matcher service? Anyone among you who has used? Dr. Hilal, can you please unmute yourself for a second's time or a minute's time? अब मैं खाली आपको कर रहा हूं because खाली आपका चेहरा दिख रहा है. That's why I'm just continuously unmuting you. So I'm extremely sorry for that.
All right. No issues at all.
Okay. So when you just prepare a research paper, since you are a person from biochemistry, so you may be just working on enzymes or say some sort of like the reactions that happen in a particular body there, or cancer or something genetic, something like that. Is it that you're always clear about a research paper कि मुझे ये किस journal में डालना है? Are you always clear?
Exactly. Actually, if say for example, if I have worked on cancer, I would obviously track those journals which will be related to the cancer or to the topic which I'm intending to publish. Okay.
Do you face problem whenever you just want to search for the journals that are exclusively meant for publishing the research in the field of cancer? Do you face problem or it is a smooth flow?
Because there are so many journals which are related to these
Okay. Then after that, if it is a smooth flow, are you able to get the best among the best? Can I request the participants to please mute themselves? Okay.
That is fine now.
Dr. Hilal, are
Yeah.
you able to get the best out of the best?
Not
Not
often.
always. Not
But
always.
not
Okay.
always, not always.
So this manuscript matcher service will help you to explore the best out of the best. First of all, it will help you to see the journals that basically match the title and abstract. Simply what you are supposed to do, you have to drop in the title of the paper, type in and drop in the abstract of your research paper. Then the artificial intelligence that works for this master journalist service or the manuscript matcher service, you try to find the journals. It will come up.
Manuscript matcher, is it an application or you just have to type it in Google?
No. Simply just go to the Web of Science master journalist there or manuscript matcher service or Web of Science. It will pop up with this service. Simply, you have to type in the title of your research paper and put in the abstract of your research paper. Automatically, once you click on the Find Journal service there, it will automatically pop up with all the journals that match the title of your research paper and the abstract. So there is basically an algorithm that works in matching these research papers with these journals with the title and the abstract. ये क्या करता है, ये keywords और आपके subject content को match करता है उन journals के साथ जो highly matched होते हैं और उसके बाद एक descending
working like Google search engine.
Exactly. So there is a page rank algorithm that basically helps the journals to give a rank. The best journals will appear on the top rank and automatically the rank will go on decreasing. So you are able to get the best journals having a better impact, a better SNP score, a better SGR score, so that you can just see that which is the best journal for my research work. Another service that is freely offered by Elsevier, that is Sciamago. Anyone who has used Sciamago, it basically is one of the free services that is used for checking the journal rankings. So in order to see or make a comparison between the journals, Sciamago works wonders, because using the Sciamago's this journal ranking service there, we are able to make a comparison. Even we can see that which are the open access journals or subscription based journals, book series, conference proceedings, or trade journals. And you're able to see that if I just check mark the open access journals only, it will help me to explore all the open access journals that we are interested in. So Sciamago will help you to see that what is the H index of that journal, or what is the SGR score of that specific journal there, so that the best selections for your research papers or your reads can be made. Okay, now coming to the what we call as these courseware or the open these courseware there. I think apart from open educational resources, nowadays teachers are continuously under pressure that we have to show so much of progress everywhere. Teacher को हर फन मौला बनना है, टीचर को पढ़ाना भी है, टीचर को रिसर्च भी करवाना है, टीचर को वेबिनार्स भी अटेंड करने हैं, टीचर को जी हर एक he has to be jack of all trades. So I think these open courseware can do wonders for you. It's not time bound. You can just do them at any point of time because there is no time restriction from 10 to 4. So we can just do it at any particular period of time. And one of the best course providers is MIT. So Massachusetts Institute of Technology that offers n number of courses that are freely available or openly available. You don't have to pay even a single penny for their free and open courses. So the courses may range from the ones that represent social sciences, languages, technical sciences, plant sciences, biological sciences, and many more. So MIT is one of the leading course providers that you should try to explore, so that if you just want to chisel or nourish or polish your subject expertise, they have various types of technical courses. Say suppose in Dr. Hilal's case, he is a person from biochemistry. Maybe in the field of biochemistry, Dr. Hilal has a specialization on enzymes. So even on enzymes, we have so many courses that may help Dr. Hilal to know more about what has happened in the field of enzymes or enzymology, or what is new type of research, what are the new things, new dimensions that have been just added to the enzymes there. So MIT is one of the best startups for the researchers. Not only that, we have edX also with us. So edX is also providing you more than 3,000 courses, and even the open courses are also available. And we have universities like Harvard, Massachusetts, Texas, Boston, Maryland that basically are affiliated with edX to offer the courses. So the best faculty, the best courses from the technical staff is available through edX. Even Coursera, one of the best things that I will recommend, you should just try to explore them. So you can just have master's courses, doctoral courses, short-term courses. As you are able to see on the screens, we have courses which are in these days, like business administration, data science, or machine learning, cyber security, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So courses which are in these days and are applicable across all subjects. You can make use of Coursera, because Coursera also offers you variety of free and open courses. Because I have also done so many short-term courses through this Coursera. Udacity is also one of the platforms that can be just made use of for just having various types of courses, and it usually just tracks the courses like autonomous systems, business, cloud computing, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, programming and development, and many more. Another one is the peer-to-peer university. It also offers various types of these online courses that can be just used or experienced by the researchers, and it will also just do wonders in building your academic careers and chiseling your academic careers, knowing new things that are happening in your respective or allied fields. So with these words, I just thank all of you for listening to me patiently. And if you have any of the queries pertinent to this lecture, I'll be happy to answer your queries.
Thank you.
So if you have any query or need any sort of clarification, I'll be happy to answer your queries. You can type in or drop in the chat box if there are any queries, so that I'll just take your queries. I think open access is something that really creates vibes, but I don't know why in this group, very less people are proactive. It's only Dr. Hilal and Dr. Abida and Dr. Irfana who were vibrant in this group.
Any regular faculty participant, any query, please?
So I think before, so can you describe the procedure for, just a minute. Can you describe the procedure for reporting the plagiarism? Reporting the plagiarism, first of all, for me, let me say that whenever we are doing some sort of research, it should be plagiarism free, because there is no scope for plagiarism. Because usually I just usually get questions that, sir, what amount of plagiarism is acceptable? I think I always respond back to them that 0% of plagiarism is acceptable. There is difference between plagiarism and similarity, because similarity is something different and plagiarism is something different. But whenever we are reporting the plagiarism, or we come across plagiarism that it has been just reported in some paper, or you come across plagiarism for a specific paper, there are agencies. First of all, it usually, if just let me just start it from the departmental level. First of all, if you feel that the research that you have just done, it is representing your thesis, you have to report it to the departmental research committee first of all, because in the initial phase, it has to be stopped somewhere. And the best stopping point is the root from where it has sprouted. So you start writing your research from the departmental level under the mentorship of your supervisor or any of your teachers who is mentoring your research work. So I won't just call that supervisor as a nasty type of supervisor, because this plagiarism may happen intentionally or unintentionally. So first of all, you should always vet your research paper through some best or excellent plagiarism checkers like Turnitin, Authenticate, or even in our university, we have Urkund with us. So that will help you to see that what is the level of similarity that your research papers possess. First of all, this question was raised by GD CW Baramula. Can you just first of all tell me, if I'm just talking about plagiarism, how will you define plagiarism? Can you please tell me, how will you define plagiarism? I'm just talking about what plagiarism means for you. How will you define? It is GDCW Baramula.
GDCW Baramula, one of the faculty member here.
Okay, first of all, what plagiarism is all about, it is simply that whenever I am citing someone's work or copying someone else's work, I'm not acknowledging the person. So it is a sort of academic deceit or an academic fraud I am conducting. But if I'm copying something, I'm acknowledging the person, that no more remains plagiarism. So first of all, there should be a differentiation between similarity and plagiarism. So plagiarism believes in non-acknowledgement of the work, but once I acknowledge it, it doesn't stay as a plagiarized content. But once I feel that, okay, it was my content and the person has stolen it and he or she has not acknowledged it. So surely there are committees, like we have research committees in our university to whom we can report it to, so that if it has been just done with an intention or intentionally, there will be a punishment that will be levied upon the scholar. If they don't do anything, we have higher authorities also. You can report it to the University Grants Commission. Even if you are familiar with the penalties that are granted, that are to be just levied upon the people who are committing this plagiarism, even the supervisor will be barred from supervising the research. Researchers will be barred. So there is a hierarchy that let it start from the departmental research committee, then it can be reported to the dean research. If not there, it can be reported to the higher committee, that is University Grants Commission. They have their own plagiarism reporting committee there, that we have, like the way we have zero tolerance for anything, there should be zero tolerance for plagiarism also. So when we are basically copying something, we should always acknowledge that thing. And the best reporting is from the grassroots level. ठीक है, charity always begins from home. तो जब आप उसको root level पे ही specify कर रहे हो, rectify कर रहे हो, it basically can help to get rid of that specific problem. Now, kabhi-kabhi kya hota hai, now the research is published. It is published by some reputed publisher. अब उस टाइम ना आपके डीन रिसर्च कुछ कर सकते हैं, ना ही आपका यूजीसी कुछ कर सकता है. But you can report it to the publisher, you can report it to the editor, you can report it to the publishing unit. How many of you are familiar about the concept of retractions? Have you ever heard the word retraction? Dr. Hilal, can you please specify what this retraction is all about?
Retraction is basically taking back a paper from the journal.
Exactly.
I think many journals have come up with the notices on their website that this journal, this article has been retracted.
Exactly. So that is a sort of academic shame that is brought to the author, is it? So it brings a sort of shame and academic shame to the author. Suppose if a paper has been written, it is published, later on, when it comes to the notice that the paper has some fraudulence in it, the content is plagiarized, even best of the papers from Nature, from Elsevier content, Sage, they have been removed. So there are different types of reporting agencies. You can report it to the committees, you can report it to the higher committees like UGC, Dean Research, or even publishers, editors, or even the sub-editors or associate editors of various platforms, so that this madness can be stopped. Another question is copying of thesis chapters and tools are unable to detect as most of the content is mathematical in nature. I think you are using a plagiarism software that has a weak database. Take example of the technical or the professional plagiarism checkers like Turnitin and Authenticate. They have the minutest details that are detected. Even the mathematical formulae or axioms or theorems, they are detected by plagiarism detection softwares that are professionally used by publishers like Authenticate or Turnitin. But there can be some weak softwares that don't have this possibility. But I will always recommend that you should always test your hands on those softwares which are professionally sound. And I always vote for Authenticate and Turnitin. If I use someone's questionnaire from the thesis, which has copyright as a tool for my research, is it authentic or not? It's Dr. Pooja Saini. Ms. Pooja, can you please clarify this question to me? Can you please unmute yourself? Ms. Pooja, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. अगर it means अगर मैं किसी की थीसिस पे कॉपीराइट लगा हुआ है, क्या ये ऑथेंटिक है सर? क्या मैं यूज कर सकती हूँ?
You are using only questionnaire.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Only questionnaire.
So questionnaire is basically a data set, is it? So it's a data set that was basically a part of the thesis. It can be an appendix or a supplementary material of your research. Even data set, agar aap use bhi kar rahe ho, in the methodology, you have to write that I have used the data set in the form of a questionnaire from Sameer sir or from Nusrat ma'am or from Abida ma'am or from Irfana ma'am or Dr. Hilal, so that the people who have actually constructed that data set, you are acknowledging that. So acknowledgement is one of the best things that will help you, that will save you from the menace of plagiarism. And on the same time, it is also acknowledging the person from where, from like the person that has actually created that data set, be it a questionnaire or any other component of your research.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So when we are just talking about plagiarism, make one thing sure, many a times it's like, let me just share you my personal experience. I was new to the teaching long back in 2006. I got appointed in my department, and my supervisor told me, I just showed my PhD chapter to him at that time. And he just told me that, okay, just tell me who has written this chapter, these 5 or 6 lines. I just told that, sir, I have written them of my own. बोला नहीं, ये आपके नहीं है, ये आपके नहीं है. मैंने बोला नहीं सर, ये मैंने खुद लिखे है. I have written them of my own. बोला नहीं, just tell me from where you have just taken these lines. मैंने बोला सर कि I have just taken these lines from say source A or source B, but I have rephrased or paraphrased all the content. So at that time I was having a notion that paraphrasing means कि the content is mine. But my supervisor told me at that time, and later on I realized it once you are just becoming a part of your research, that even if you paraphrase or you restructure the sentences, still you have to acknowledge the person, because you are not acknowledging the language, you are not acknowledging the sentences, you are acknowledging the idea of a researcher, even if you have written the lines in your own words. So make one thing sure, open access is one of the best things that really does wonders, but at the same time it has really landed many of the authors into trouble, because once things are openly available, that thing becomes more prone to plagiarism because people copy that the things that are openly available. But one thing that will safeguard you or save you from this menace of plagiarism is to properly cite, properly write. And I just showed you that even the open educational resource like Mendeley can be made use of for properly citing and writing your research papers, and at the same time, it is also safeguarding you from the menace of plagiarism. So any other question? I think no. So if you have questions, so I'll be happy superbly answer. Dr. Abida, thank you, Dr. Abida. And thank you all the participants for being like so wonderful and so cooperative. So once again, I also thank Dr. Professor Famida for just giving me an opportunity, and all the organizing committee, especially Ms. Nusrat, who's a student of mine. So it was a really wonderful experience, though I would have really loved to come to Baramulla, but it is a bit distant and I have some personal problem. This time my son had a surgery recently, so I couldn't just move to that place. So otherwise I would have really loved to visit Baramulla and just be a part of all the academic fraternity there.
Thank you.
Dr. Irfana has said, sir, this means that acknowledging author from where we copy doesn't count for plagiarism. Exactly, because when we acknowledge some person, you are giving a credit to them. Say it's not a financial reward that an author gets. You are rewarding an author because once you acknowledge a person, what you are just doing, you are citing that person. And citation means one citation to that person, or two citations to that person, or three citations to that person. Three acknowledgements, three citations, four acknowledgements, four citations. And what citations will do for that author? It will automatically increase his H index, it will automatically increase his I-10 index and other academic indicators. So that simply means that apart from safeguarding yourself, that you stay safe, that you're not plagiarizing now, but you are acknowledging and giving a sort of credit to the author, and it is a sort of like academic reward to the author, because in the later stage of his or her career, it may do wonders for him in his or her promotion. Many are times in foreign, having a better H10 index, sorry, I-10 index or H index, they give the financial rewards. Researchers, professors are financially rewarded. They get promotions, they become professors on the basis of a certain amount of citation rate or a certain amount of H10, so I-10 index or H index. So in that way, it is a sort of equality or a mutualism. Author जो है, उसको credentials मिल रहे हैं, और आपको क्या हो रहा है? आप सेफ हो रहे हो, you are not falling a prey to the plagiarism there. अब ये नहीं है कि आप सब कुछ कॉपी करोगे and you will try to create a paper of yours. सर जी मैंने सब कुछ acknowledge किया और मैंने जी एक पेपर बनाया. So you are then legalizing something in an illegal way. ठीक है? So nothing like that. So citations and acknowledgements are basically a thing that give a weightage to your work. Suppose if I'm just writing Kashmir is a beautiful place, I'll just cite Lawrence Walter जो थे, उन्होंने भी बोला है, या डॉक्टर हिलाल या मिस नुसरत ने बोला है कश्मीर इज अ ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस. व्हाट डज दैट मीन? कश्मीरी में वो बोलते हैं कि लाइक आख्त आगे का, इज इट? सो वो क्या होता है कि अगर मैंने ये बोला है, it is Nusrat, Dr. Hilal, Dr. Irfana, Dr. Abida also who are saying the same thing, and that is giving a weightage to my thought, my idea, is it? So make one thing sure, we have to quote an idea, we have to quote a thought, not a paragraph, not a full page. Later on you will just acknowledge that person and claim that the work is mine. So nothing like that. So whenever you are starting writing, you can just acknowledge Dr. Hilal, you can acknowledge Nusrat, you can acknowledge Abida, you can acknowledge Irfana or Samir or any other person. But at the same time, you have to see that the level of similarity is up to some manageable level. So level of similarity shouldn't be so much high that it will just make you a client of plagiarism. You got it, Abida? So any other question?
Revered participants, any question? I think, sir, there is no question now.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
It's lunchtime now, and I don't want to just come between their lunch.
Oh, I once again thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for this enlightening session. The session provided us opportunity to get to know about open educational resources. Definitely, with open educational resources, a new way of teaching and learning has been paved, whereby faculty is encouraged not only to enhance their own work, but in turn help in supplementing their teaching learning process. With these words, I once again wholeheartedly, sir, extend my gratitude from the whole fraternity of Women's College, Baramulla. Thank you very much, sir. It's really a great honor for me and you that I listened to you, sir, today. Okay, sir.
So once again, thank you all of you and all the participants for the cooperation that you just gave to me, and all fraternity and the organizing committee of this 1 week workshop, and especially the principal ma'am and my student Nusrat, and all the participants for being here with me. So with these words, I take leave of you, and assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.